briefly describe the events that led to the pre-dawn raid this morning?
Well, it's been an ongoing investigation for quite some time, and I'd say roughly a year. Historically, everybody that has been arrested so far and those that are the arrests that are forthcoming have been a menace to our community, and not only in the northern portion of Wise County, in the Greenwood-Slidell area, but it spans across, the Decatur area, Bridgeport, and throughout the county. But as that had progressed, through the years, we've had information on the Malone family for a while, and others, not just the Malones, but some of the others that run with them. And sometimes the information we got was good, some of it was not good. And fortunately, within this last year, we were able to gather up information through our department, Texas Parks and Wildlife, and other agencies, and kind of combine all that together and start working on an organized crime case, which turned out to be very good.
Organized crime case. So how many people were involved in this organized crime raid?
Well, as the investigation went, numerous agencies had a lot of resources placed into it, not only in our department. So we had Texas Parks and Wildlife, numerous game wardens that were involved because of the hunting violations, poaching, and things of that nature. We had state narcotics officers involved, Texas Rangers, U.S. Forestry Service, and of course our office, and then Decatur PD. And some of that ranges from not only on the investigative end of it, but it also ranges from our warrant service today. Because of the nature of the cases that we were working in, the narcotics, and the intelligence that we had for weapons and things of that nature at the house, we wanted to make sure we had enough law enforcement available that we wouldn't end up in a situation that someone was hurt.
And was there any resistance met when y'all made the scene?
No.
How'd your department handle themselves, you think?
Everybody did very well. I mean, it was a collaborative effort between all those agencies. The planning was phenomenal. The case had been growing throughout this year, and grown to a point where we thought, yes, we probably could have kept going, but at some point you need to go ahead and make your arrest and go. We've got good evidence on the case, and been working with the district attorney's office, and we've had numerous meetings and things with them. The communication between all the agencies, state, local, and federal, and is just phenomenal, and it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for all these agencies sharing information. The operation today was very well planned out. Our staff here, along with the other, the other teams that came. There was no hickeys, no problems, no anything. No one got hurt. We were able to arrest who we thought were at the house, and we also picked up 2 juveniles, unfortunately, and we'll deal with those separately. But it went very well.
And what kind of criminal activities did y'all discover that were going on out there?
Just about anything you can think of. The biggest majority is that we were looking into was the manufacture and distribution of methamphetamine. In that, which is just like a huge circle. You have somebody that's cooking dope, they're probably stealing, they're probably doing all this other, and that's exactly what this was. We used intelligence from the Texas Parks and Wildlife on their, a lot of the folks that were out there, the Malones, have been accused of poaching and things of that nature through the years. They've been accused of manufacturing narcotics and stuff like that. So what we did is we build off of what we've heard through years till we had some concrete evidence to go off of. Right now we have a charge of engaging in criminal activity. As the evidence at the scene is processed, from what we find at the scene from narcotics manufacturing, if we have any stolen equipment, there are firearms out there. We'll try to piece together who had possession of those firearms. If they were a felon, they'll be filed on for felon in possession of a firearm. We're looking into filing on endangering a child with the juveniles out there. We may be able to file some additional charges for having juvenile kids around the manufacturing of the drugs.
Can you describe what did the place look like when you got there?
A mess. a huge mess. If you've ever watched Sanford and Son on TV, it looks just like that. There's junk everywhere, and and it's just junk. One of the things that some people just have everything they own out in the front yard, and number one, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But then when you have, for an example, a safe that's laying out in the yard, of course, I wouldn't say it's a fairly sizable piece of land with multiple structures on it where people are staying, whether it be some of the Malone families or some of their friends. But a good example of in their front yard is a big safe with the bottom cut out of it. So what we'll have to do is do some research to see where did that safe come from. If it's one of ours, can we match it back to one of our burglaries and see where that's been. I believe they found somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 grams of methamphetamine. I'm not exactly sure. Everybody that worked on this case from the bottom to the top did a fabulous job. It's good, I always say this, it's good old-fashioned police work. They hit the ground running about a year ago and really got after it, and included multiple agencies, and they did really good.
Do you feel pretty confident that these troublemakers are going to be off the streets for a while now? Or?
I think so. Yeah, we've got a good case. We've worked closely with the prosecutor's office. Greg Lowry's office up at the DA's office is fully aware of what's going on. And one thing that we're going to do as well is do the paperwork for seizure of their property. And we'll look into if that property's paid for, and we suspect that it probably is. We're going to do the paperwork through the district attorney's office and attempt to seize their property from them. And then hopefully, if that comes to fruition, then if the property is taken from them and then ultimately sold, they won't be there to cause our community anymore. There's a fairly nice home. There's a motor home. There's a travel trailer. There's a makeshift place. At one point, in one place in between different structures, there's an underground bunker, and you probably saw the pictures of that already. I say it's a bunker. It's more of a in between a rock structure where they've dug down and been able to dig down underground and go out different directions.
Is that where the meth lab was?
That is one of them. Multiple places that we found chemicals or the ingredients to manufacture methamphetamine. But with the cooperation of everybody, from game wardens to everyone, hopefully this case will solve a lot of problems for everybody, including the citizens that live in and around that area.